morning everyone. My name is Mridula, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Today I am going to tell about few topics from a subject Industrial Electrical Systems. This is the overview of today's topic. Today I am going to tell about topics like tariff, its influencing factors, types of tariffs, and protection devices or components. Tariff structure. What is tariff structure? Tariff structure is a common tool of price discrimination. It is a set of rules or procedures that determine how to charge different groups of consumers at different levels of times of consumption. That is, here different consumers, maybe residential consumers, commercial consumers or industrial consumers. Tariff is nothing but it prices the or charges the different types of consumers like residential consumers, commercial consumers or industrial consumers. Factors that influence the structure or the rates of electrical tariffs. There are different factors like cost of generation, the cost to produce electricity from various sources. Some of the sources are like coal, natural gas, renewable energy sources, etc. Some of the renewable energy sources you can take it as solar energy or wind energy. So, the cost of generation is the major factor as it determines the cost to produce the electricity. The cost to produce the electricity differs from the coal generation as well as natural gas. The cost of generation from the coal is different from natural gas and it is different from renewable energy sources also. So, the cost of generation plays a major role here. Next one is transmission and distribution cost. The expenses related to transportation of electricity from generating plants to the consumers. The expenses differ for transmission as well as distribution lines. Third one is consumer type. As I have said, there are different types of consumers. One is residential or second one is commercial. Third one is industrial users. Residential means the houses. Commercial means shopping complexes and industries. Next factor is load. Load factor. The load varies from time to time, season to season. The load varies. So, that's why we will take the load ratio or load factor here, which is nothing but the ratio of average load to the peak load over a period. Load factor is nothing but average ratio of average load to the peak load over a particular period of time. Next one is demand patterns. As I said, seasonal and daily variations will be there. Like during night time, the load will be less compared to the daytime. And seasonal also. Seasonal also means summer season, the consumption is more when compared to winter season. That is, in winter season, the load will be low. In rainy season, it will be moderate. And in summer season, the load will be always high. Daily also, during night time, the load consumption will be less compared to the daytime. Next, regulatory policies. Government regulations should be followed and policies affecting the tariff structures. So, the tariff structures mainly depends upon the cost of generation, the first one. Second one is transmission and distribution cost. and maintenance cost also comes under this category. The transmission and distribution wiring as well as its maintenance also comes under the second category. Third one is consumer type. Consumer type means residential, commercial or industrial users. The discrimination has to be done. The load comes under the consumer comes under the residential category or commercial category or industrial category. This discrimination has to be done. Next, load factor has to be calculated, which is the ratio of average load to the peak load. Demand, seasonal changes as well as daily changes. Next, regulation policies. So, based on all these categories, the tariff structure is being designed. Next one is various types of tariffs. There are various types of tariff structures. Some of them are like simple tariff, flat rate tariff, block rate tariff, two-part tariff, maximum demand tariff, power factor tariff and three-part tariff. So, there are simple, flat rate, block rate, two-part, maximum demand, power factor tariff and three-part tariff. So, like this different types of tariff structures are there, and in this session we will learn about simple tariff, flat rate, block rate as well as two-part tariff. All these four types of tariffs we will learn one by one. First one is simple tariff. Simple tariff is also known as uniform tariff. It charges the consumer a fixed rate per unit of electricity consumed, regardless of amount of time or usage. That is, in this picture you can see this is units consumed in kilowatt hour. This is charges per unit. So, regardless of consumer means the consumer can be residential, commercial or industrial. For any kind of consumer, they are charging a fixed amount. They are charging a fixed amount for 1 kilowatt hour. kWh is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour. Okay. So, if it is like for 1 month, let us take for residential consumers. For residential consumers, let us take they are consuming 100 units for 1 month. If they are consuming 100 units for 1 month, they will be charging 100 units into a particular amount. This will be the electricity bill for that particular month in case of simple tariff. If it is instead of residential, if we are taking commercial, any shopping complex also, it is also like if it is consuming around 1000 units for 1 month, they will be charged here 1000 units into the amount for 1 kilowatt hour. So, based on this, we have different advantages as well as disadvantages for this particular simple tariff. What are the advantages? Simplicity. The first advantage is simplicity. This is the easiest method to implement. It is very easy because the calculation part is very easy, and clarity means the easily understandable and straightforward to apply. This particular simple tariff is very easy to understand for the consumer as well as for the calculating for the government also. Next one is fairness. charges consumers based on the actual usage only. Means if they are consuming 50 watts, they will be charged for 50 watts only. And if they are consuming 100 watts, if they are consuming 50 units, they will be charged for 50 units. If they are consuming 100 units, they will be charged for 100 units only. Then what are the disadvantages? The first disadvantage is uniformity. Means does not differentiate between types of consumers. There is no discrimination between the consumers. Means the same amount will be charged for residential, commercial as well as industrial also. Next one is high cost. Next disadvantage is high cost. Means if they are charging around 5 rupees for 1 unit. If they are charging 5 rupees for 1 unit, the same amount will be charged for all the types of consumers, even though the residential loads are very less. The residential loads are very less compared to the industrial loads, but still the residential consumers also will be charged the same amount. This is a disadvantage for residential consumers. Next one is lack of incentives. Lack of incentives. No benefits for increased electricity usage. Means the residential or the commercial users, for residential users, let us take for 1 month they are consuming around 100 units. For 1 month they are using around 100 units. The second month they may consume 200 units. First month they will be consuming around 100 units. Second month they will be consuming around 200 units. But here the thing is lack of incentives, no benefits for increased electricity usage. Means they have increased the electricity usage by double the amount. But still they are charged the same, that is into 5 rupees and into 5 rupees only. Even though they have increased the usage, we are not increasing the amount here. This is a drawback for the electricity board. So, this is a kind of a disadvantage. Next one is fixed cost. Fixed cost means suppliers cannot charge if no energy is consumed. Means if in a particular month, let us take in the third month, they are not consuming any units, they are not consuming any kind of energy, 0 units. Means 0 into 5 they will be charged, that is 0 amount they will be charged. So, if the consumer is not consuming any kind of energy, we cannot charge him. But the maintenance cost will be there for the government. For the government, maintenance cost will be there, connection cost will be there, but still they cannot charge the consumer. Even though the maintenance and connection charges are there for the government, they cannot charge the consumer in this particular simple tariff case. So, we will go for the next type of tariff, that is flat rate tariff. Flat rate tariff categorizes consumers. Like consumers, as I said, there are residential, commercial as well as industrial also. So, they are categorized into different categories. Category 1, Category 2, Category 3. Different types of consumers, they have categorized into 3 categories, into different groups. Based on their usage patterns, the charges a fixed rate for each category. That means for, let us take for one category, they will be charging around 3 rupees. For the second category, they will be charging around 4 rupees per unit. This is per unit cost. Per unit cost. Per unit cost. And the third category, they will be charging around 5 rupees per unit. They will be charging around 5 rupees per unit. So, based on the category, the charges varies here. This type of tariff is commonly used for domestic applications. This is mainly preferred for domestic applications. Here also there are different types of advantages as well as disadvantages in flat rate tariff. The first advantage is fairness, means more equitable for different consumers. Second advantage is simplicity, means easy to calculate. Next, disadvantages, lack of incentives. As I said, in simple tariff also we are having this lack of incentives. No benefits for increased energy usage, means no benefit for increased energy usage. Even though they are using 100 units or 200 units or 500 units also, we have to charge them according to their category only. We cannot charge them more than that, even though they are increasing their load consumption. This is a disadvantage for flat rate tariff. Second disadvantage is complexity. Complexity because it requires separate meters for different categories. Means for light loads as well as power loads, for example. For light loads we have to pay. Let us take category 1. For category 1, the separate type of meter has to be fixed. For category 2, they have to fix again separate type. Category 3, a separate type. So, for 3 categories, they have to categorize the different types of loads into these 3 categories. And after that, they have to fix separate meters for different categories. So, this is little bit complex, complicating and increasing the expense for the arrangements. Third disadvantage is uniform rates, means consumer within the same category are charged the same rates, although it would be fairer for higher energy usage where charged lower fixed rates. So, for flat rate tariff also, we do have advantages as well as disadvantages. We do have advantages as well as disadvantages. Third type of tariff is block rate tariff. In a block rate tariff, the consumption is divided into different blocks. Before, in flat rate tariff, we have divided into different categories like category 1, category 2 and category 3. In next type of, that is block rate tariff, we have divided into different blocks but not into categories here. Different blocks, and each block has a different rate. Each block has a different rate. In a block rate tariff, energy consumption is divided into distinct blocks and each with a fixed per unit tariff. For each block, we will be dividing different fixed unit per unit tariff. The cost per unit decreases with each subsequent block. The first block has the highest rate and the last block will be having the least rate, decreased rate. The thing is, let us take from 0 to 50 units, they will be charging around 1.5. Let us take an example, 1.5 rupees per unit. For 50 to 100 units for 1 month, they will be charging around 2.5 rupees per unit. For 100 to 200, different rate will be there. So, they have divided into different blocks here. Instead of categories, they have divided into different blocks, and for different blocks, they are charging different amount. Here it will be around 3.5 or something. So, they are categorized into different blocks now, and each block will be having a separate per unit cost. In this type of tariff also, there are having advantages as well as disadvantages. The first advantage is single meter requirement. In previous case, we used 3 different meters for 3 different categories. But for all the blocks, we are using here single meter only for all the customers or all the consumers. Second one is consumer incentives, means reduced rate encouragement for higher energy usage. Higher energy usage, improving load factor and lowering generation costs. This is a advantage for the consumer. Disadvantages. Next, disadvantages. First disadvantage is fixed cost. Means that if no energy is consumed, in this case also the same disadvantage is there for simple as well as flat rate. Now for the block rate also the same disadvantage is fixed cost. Means if the consumer is not consuming any kind of energy for a particular month, we cannot charge that particular consumer even though we are bearing the maintenance cost or the connection cost. Here you can see, despite ongoing connection cost, even though we are having the connection cost as well as maintenance cost, we cannot charge the consumer for that particular month if he is not consuming any kind of energy. This is a major disadvantage for block rate tariff. Next one is two-part tariff. Next one is two-part tariff. In two-part tariff, it consists of two parts. That is, first one is fixed variable charge and fixed charge. In two-part tariff, we have two categories, that is fixed charge and variable charge based on the energy consumed. Based on the energy consumed, the fixed charges and variable charges will be there. The fixed charge is nothing but which covers the cost of maintaining the supply infrastructure, that is the maintenance, connection cost, all these comes under this fixed charge category. While the variable charge is nothing but based on the actual usage. Based on the actual usage in that particular month, they will be charged into per unit cost. So, that comes under the category of variable charge. The first one is fixed charge and the second one you will call it as running charge or variable charge. You can call in the both the ways, that is variable charge or running charge. The fixed charge is because of maximum demand and the second charge depends upon the energy consumption of the load. So, little bit improvement is there with simple tariff is the basic one. The next type is, here you can see, the first type is simple tariff, which was very simple. The second one is flat rate tariff with little bit of improvement by categorizing the consumers. Next type is block rate tariff, where they have divided into different blocks based on the consumptions here. And little more improvement is done in two-part tariff by adding a fixed charge as well as variable charge. Fixed charge and variable charge, which is also called as running charge here. This two-part tariff is also having advantage as well as disadvantage. What is the advantage? Fixed charges return means suppliers receive a return equal to the fixed charges even no energy is consumed. That is, even though the consumer is not consuming any kind of energy, he has to pay this fixed charges. Means he will not pay the variable charges. If he is not consuming any kind of energy, he will not pay the variable charge, but he has to pay the fixed charges. That is a advantage here. Advantage for the government. Disadvantage. What are the disadvantage? Means regular fixed charges. Consumers must pay fixed charges, as I said previously, even though he is not consuming any kind of energy, he has to pay the fixed charges. This is a disadvantage for the consumers actually. This is an advantage for the government but disadvantage for the consumer. Next one is demand assessment issue. This is another disadvantage. Means the maximum demand is not determined actually, leading to the potential conflicts between the supplier and the consumer. Because there are fixed charges as well as variable charges, the consumer may not know the per unit amount actually for the per unit amount for the units. How many units he has consumed. Electrical protection devices. What are electrical protection devices and what is the use of these protection devices or components? The first one is prevent fires. Electrical protection devices can protect overheating and fires by automatically disconnecting the electricity supply to a circuit and detects excessively high currents before itself. Second one is protect infrastructure. The protecting devices are used to protect our infrastructure. Electrical protection devices help to protect infrastructure that could be damaged by electrical accidents. In order to avoid these electrical accidents, in order to protect the devices from these electrical accidents, we use the protection devices. Third one is isolate faulty components. In order to isolate some faulty components, we use these protection devices. Electrical protection devices can quickly detect and isolate faulty components, which minimizes the disruption to rest the electrical system. Third, last one is keep the power system stable. Electrical protection devices can keep the power system stable by isolating the faulty components while keeping as much of networks as possible in operation. So, these are the uses or why the protection devices are being needed here. In next session, we will learn about few electrical protection devices which are mainly used like fuse, MCB, MCCB, ELCB, lightning arresters, surge protectors and relays. Thank you.